Hey everybody, my name is Lee Beatty, and as you guys can see, I'm a Browns fan, and I'm actually wearing my Browns gear because, Draft Day just came out, the movie, and it's based around my Cleveland Browns. So I'm really, really stoked. I am no way in shape or form am I affiliated with the Cleveland Browns or Draft Day. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm a fan. What I'm actually going to talk to you today about is, engaging the actual social tap. What is the social tap? It is a course based around the best mobile and social media based platform that I have ever used online, and that is 22 Social. And you can actually pick that up if you're wanting, if you know a little bit about 22 Social or not. You can actually search, just go to 22 Social review. You'll see that's my video. I'm the first one there. So if you have any questions, I actually walk through what 22 Social is. But you can pick it up at $1,000,000tosuccess.com. It's just my referral link through a URL. Really, folks, the best mobile and social media based platform I've ever used. And this course I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit about is based around that. Okay. So let me back up a little bit. When I first started online back in 2007, I was an absolute technophobe. I was scared of the internet. I was scared of anything that I did in my life, meaning on the internet, or any action I was going to take was going to break the internet. It was going to break my computer. It was going to break everything I did. I know that sounds strange to some of you, but to me, that's just what my level of experience was. I was not technically proficient in the internet at all. And so when I first started, I literally made all these mistakes. And I've made more mistakes and I've had more failures than any of you can ever freaking imagine. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I failed forward. I made the mistakes, but I never gave up. And really, I was able to overcome those barriers of not knowing and not understanding and not, really being able to, to not take action without being just, scared and petrified that I was going to break the internet. And, it took a little while because of my mindset. Because, first off, I didn't know what HTML was. I didn't know what PHP was. I didn't know what WordPress was. I didn't know what hosting was. I didn't know what a URL was. I didn't know what on-page SEO, off-page SEO, backlinking, video marketing, alt tags. I didn't know all that stuff. And, the great part, you don't have to know all that stuff either. That's the beautiful part, like I said, for me, I made so many mistakes, folks. I was so scared because it was so foreign to me. It was like learning a completely new language. And, my results were not so great, for a long time. And then I started to get some results because, I never gave up and I was persistent and I just kept going at it over and over and over. And I started to get results. But the thing is, you had to go here, you had to do this, you had to do that, you had to do all these other things, and it was so complicated. Well, this is where 22 Social came into my life. Last year, around June of 2013, I was introduced to 22 Social. And I've literally put this to work on many, many of my fan pages. Okay, and for those of you who want to know what is 22 Social, it's the best mobile and social media based resource on the internet. If you're using Facebook, and if you're not using Facebook, you should be using Facebook. Because, folks, let me tell you, the new SEO is now fan engagement. The more people are engaged with your post and things that you're actually doing, that is the new SEO. That's what Google values these days. And with videos, the longer that you actually stay on here and you engage with these videos, the more relevant they are. And, that means that Google is going to give you a lot more love. So in Facebook and Twitter, I guess I should say that too. So what did I do? All right. So why is all this links and why is all this stuff? So the $1,000,000 to Success is the top link on there. Is my referral link. It's a 22 Social, folks. If you don't have a budget, or maybe you're just strapped on cash, they have a free version. I mean, if nothing else, pick it up. It's for free, okay? But if those of you are a little bit more serious about your business, they have a $2 for the first 30-day pro account that you can actually pick up. And if you tell 3 and it's free, that's their thing. That's what those guys, that's exactly what they say. If you tell 3 and you get 3 people to sign up for a pro membership, it's going to be free, all right? And then after that, it's going to be $22 a month. $22 a month, folks. You don't have to pay for hosting. You don't have to pay for a URL. And you can use Facebook fan pages to do all the stuff that you would do for anything else. Because like I said, folks, these social networks are here to stay. They're going nowhere, and the value is there, and they are growing. So Facebook, has a built-in audience of 1.3 billion people and growing. Okay, Twitter has a built-in audience of over 220 million people. Pinterest, they have over 70 million active users. Google Plus, and depending on what study you look at, it's between 150 to 250 million active users on Google Plus. The fastest growing social network of all time, by the way, just so you guys know that. And then obviously YouTube. It's the number one video search engine in the world, and it's the number 3 most popular website in the world behind Facebook and Google. So why 22 Social? It leverages those top 3 websites. The Google, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, and not to include Google Plus, but this bridges the gap really, really easily. So, for example, if I wanted to simulcast this actual video right now that I'm doing live, I could do that on a Facebook fan page using 22 Social, but also broadcasting it live on YouTube Live and Google Plus, just by letting them know. And I can do that in a way where I'm using Facebook's free tools, i.e. their events tab, i.e. the fan page, and a lot of the other things. This 22 Social allows you to easily integrate with fan pages very, very easily. And to me, again, I'm going to say this one last time, it is the best mobile and social media based platform that you're going to find today. It's so user friendly, and it would, even for that guy back in 2007, me, I would have loved this platform back then, but now I've actually come across it, and I'm telling you about it because I really think that using Facebook as part of your marketing strategy should be one of your core components, because the cool thing about 22 Social is that you can build fan pages, but then you send them to these actual squeeze pages, mobile optimized, so you're actually able to see it on your smartphones, on your tablets, on your laptops, on your PCs, and it integrates very, very easily. It's responsive, so it does it automatically. It's seamless. Okay. The next thing, it has a built-in light gate. So when you actually go here, after I tell you a little bit about this course, you're going to have to go through a light gate. You're going to literally have to like in order to see the information, because you're only going to be able to get it for the next 6 days. Sorry, I can't. It's been valued at too high for me, and I want to make sure that I give value for the next 6 days. And this is my way of doing it. Just do videos like this and putting it out there. But 22 Social not only has it's light gated, but also it has built in right into the actual custom app a way for you to collect names and email addresses right into the app, folks, and it's seamless. If you already have an autoresponder, Aweber, GetResponse, MailChimp, Constant Contact, or SendReach, or any of the other ones, and they're adding to them constantly. You can actually collect the name and email addresses very, very easily, folks. And really, as we all know, the money's in the list. So if you're collecting the list and you're able to follow up with these customers, that means you're going to have more chances to make more money in the future. Okay, so that's really one of the best reasons why it's easy to use. It's simplistic is all get down. They've designed this very, very well. It doesn't matter what your skill level is, and you can it has a built-in light gate, which I like. You can build an email list very, very easily, and there's so many advanced things you can do within this app that it's just crazy. I love it. So you can actually pick that up at $1,000,000tosuccess.com. You don't have to, but they have a free version, and if you want the pro version, it's $2 for the first 30 days, and I think $22 after that. It's up to you. So let me tell you where you're going to actually see this video right now. You're either going to see it on the Facebook page that I have on the second line, which is facebook.com/SEO service DFWTX, and that stands for Search Engine Optimization Service, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Because I am, when I left corporate America, I moved from Austin up here to Dallas, Fort Worth. And I recently, and that's probably why you're going to notice there's not that many likes on there, is I recently just put it out there. I've done no pay-per-click marketing, and I'm doing other little subtle ways to actually start pointing people to this actual page. And realistically, it's funny, if I showed you the analytics on it, a lot of people are actually going through and they're checking it out. They're just not liking the page. It's kind of odd. So when you actually go there, there's two things that you're going to be required to do. First, like the page, because you're going to get a lot of valuable content. Then when you like the page, there's another tab that says Get Notifications. When you do that, I'm actually, every time I update the page, if you see it, I don't update it a ton, so I won't always be constantly grilling you. But what I provide are things that are going to be useful for your business, and are going to help you out. And everything that you're going to see on that page to right now, you're going to see that I'm building a local presence here very, very quickly and fast. Okay, so that's why to me that I'm using that as a hub, for me, because I believe in Facebook, I believe in fan pages, and I believe that 22 Social coupled with fan pages is going to help you. That's where I've gotten to in my experience. Over the last 6.5 years, where I went from this guy that didn't understand what hosting, what keyword keyword research was, all these different things that went into establishing a web presence back in 2007. You don't need to know all that stuff anymore, folks. I mean, the new SEO is social engagement, and 22 Social, in my opinion, is the best way for anybody, no matter what your experience level, to bridge that gap with Facebook fan pages. Okay, so what is Social Tap? Social Tap is a course I actually built around 22 Social. So what it is, I took about 1.5 to 2 months, and I really started nitpicking what it was that I thought was useful for anybody. And I wanted to keep me, that guy from 2007, in mind. That guy was a technophobe and scared that every little thing I was going to do was going to mess something up. I wrote it for that person, okay? But also, I wrote it, and I include enough resources in there for you intermediate marketers. And if you followed the event last night that I did with Justin MacArthur Rand, you'll know. He's been online for quite a long time. He has a huge social presence on Twitter, on Instagram, all these things. And I mean, this is how he found me, was through videos like this and me getting my word out there. And I gave him an advanced screening of it, and I mean, he could tell you in his own words, if you watched that event from last night, it blew him away. He just couldn't believe that I'm going to charge so little for it, but I'm only going to do that for another 6 days. So basically, this course is 16 modules. It's I've written it in a PDF, really simplistic. Easy to follow for guys like me, because even though I come from a corporate America, i.e. field service engineering, and all the things that I did. If you don't know my story, that's okay, because I'll follow. You can watch some of my previous videos about that, and where I got the inspiration for Social Tap. And I tell my story in there, but. Folks, I wasn't a technical guy. I was the type of guy that I literally, at that point in my life, the most technical thing I did was log into my email. Log into my email and check the sports page. Those were the two most major things I did that what I considered to be technical. All right? And I was not savvy at all to the internet when I first started online. So now, fast forward to now, I get so many people asking me questions about, hey, how do I do this and how do I do that? How do I, you name it, for everything from, website development to SEO to video marketing to Facebook marketing to Amazon products you name it, folks, to Pinterest, because I have such a wide variety and a wide audience now, and I have social engagement is what I call that now. But I've done it in a way where I've made so many mistakes. And that's why I actually put together Social Tap, because I don't want people to have to go through what I went through. Where, folks, I have spent over the last 6.5 years, I've spent in upwards of $150,000 on products, services, softwares, themes, plugins, you name it. I've done it, And, not that I didn't get a lot out of these things, because, after I started making mistakes and, let me back up first. Let me tell you why I actually why I believe in not only 22 Social, but why I believe in Facebook. Folks, I was creating my own private link farm, if you will, my own private linking network. And I was doing it in a way, I was setting it up around niche products, but I was also providing value, a lot of value actually. And I had hundreds of sites spread out over many different servers. And was about a year and a half ago, I lost 300 of them. Boom, just like that. I got hacked absolutely to the core of my server. Okay, what does that mean? That means that my site, when you would go to my site, they would have this stupid error message. It was these hackers that took over my server. They did something in a way where they hacked me down, and then when I would go to the hosting provider, like, we can't even find out how they got in. So I had to, for the first time, I had experienced not only obviously failing forward, but I experienced massive failure. Okay, so I lost 300 of my sites, and the thing that I wasn't doing, unfortunately, I wasn't collecting a name in an email list. I know you're probably thinking, how stupid is that? You were on the internet for a while. I just didn't know, folks. I didn't know. I didn't know that you're supposed to do that in order to have success. Okay, so I lost 300 websites. So then what did I do? I took massive action. I started rebuilding these sites back up again. I hired some outsourcers to help me kind of ramp these efforts up and then put these up. And what do you know? And about 6 months later, I lost those 200. Well, I put up around 250 other sites, and I lost 200 of them again. Got hacked again. So in the span of 6 months, I lost over 500 websites. Hard-earned money, hard-earned, and at the same time, when I put these back up, I was, I put the opt-in form there, but, I wasn't giving anything away, nothing for value, anything like that. And folks, after that, and I'm sure you can, you can see the look on my face. Just imagine losing 500 sites. 500. And all that time, that effort, the money spent, all these things. Folks, I went into a depression. I got depressed. Okay, let me tell you how all this kind of spiraled out of control. I was still working in corporate America. I was a safety coordinator there at Samsung Austin. And I mention that because I helped establish this company as, right now, they're the premier third-party safety consultants on site there. They do the audits, they do the safety sign-offs, they do all the things that help a semiconductor fab function from a build out to end product. They oversee a lot of these things that were safety related. In short, we basically replaced the fire department for a lot of our inspections that we were doing out there. That's in short. That's exactly that we did. Okay, for most things, most, like 99.8%. There's other 0.2% that by law the Austin Fire Department had to oversee, which were obviously the building alarms and working with the life safety systems and things like that they have to check out. Everything else, we took over that, okay? And we took over the audits, we took over the observations, we took over everything involved. So I was working that job, but I was also building this up. I was trying to, juggle having an online business and, working in this very, very stressful environment, folks. It was one of the major ramp ups in that in semiconductor, at the time, and we were aggressively putting tools in. So my job was, really to oversee a lot of these processes and really interact. I mean, I trained all the new personnel that we brought on. I was, really in charge of a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts, folks. Like I say, a lot of moving parts. And that's where it kind of hit me. I had that aha moment after I got hacked. Believe it or not, I had been online for, a little over 3.5 to 4 years, and I was making some money, but it wasn't anything substantial. You'd think with that many sites, I should have been making money hand over fist. I wasn't. Okay, I was making enough money to live a comfortable living, but then after I got hacked, folks, I didn't know how to handle it. I got depressed. So what did I do? That job that was my income source, I talked to the owners and I said, hey, look, I got hacked again. I really need a little bit of time off. And because I was stressed out. I'd been, not only was I working at that job, but I was doubling it up. I think we figured out I was working up to 110 hours a week with my regular job plus my online business. I was working a lot of hours, and I had been doing that for a couple years straight, and I got burned out. So after I got hacked, I didn't know how to handle it. So I asked for this time off. and to fix these things, to kind of evaluate the process, if you will. And when I went to come back, as with anything, the job disappeared. And so not only did I get hacked, I lost my income source. And all these skills that I had and all these things that I was doing, I lost it all. So I went into a huge funk there for a little while there. And what happened was, after being there, was there a couple more months, and we decided, we're going to come up here to Dallas-Fort Worth. I want a fresh start. I want to, change up how I do things. So then what I started to do is kind of rebuild myself and start to put things out there. I started publishing some books. I started to rebuild some of these websites, but not at the level I did. But then I started establishing some brands and some other brands that, some of you may know, maybe you don't, and I'm not going to say them here in this video. It doesn't matter. But I was really, restarting the process to actually building myself back up. And I got up here to Dallas-Fort Worth, and ever since I've been here, when I meet people, I'm constantly giving them advice. Excuse me. I'm constantly telling them what they should be doing for their business. So then what I did was, I guess it finally hit me like, hey, Lee, you know what you're doing. And what I did is, obviously the facebook.com/SEO service DFW, I recently just put that up. That's something, as of recently, I just did to really kind of establish everything here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because I had all these other little projects, So if you guys can understand that, everyone, I bottomed out. I made some of the worst mistakes a person can make online. But then I also lost my income, and I made pretty good money, folks. So what was happening was, even though I was taking action, everything was still kind of getting like hobby-like results. Okay, if you can kind of relate to that. You're taking action, but you're not 100% focused. You're not 100% skin in the game, if you will. Well, for me, after I lost my job, folks, that was really tough to deal with because I helped establish the company. But I understand because I took a couple weeks off. It was really, really depressing for me that I lost over 500 websites. And can you imagine that? All your hard-earned money, hiring people, optimizing them yourself, putting them on the hosting, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I was bound and determined after I moved up here, like, what? I'm going to do things differently. So again, I wrote a couple books, and then I was introduced to 22 Social, and I'm just going to put it that way. And what I did was I started, rather than putting up websites, I started putting up fan pages. And I started putting up more fan pages and more fan pages and more fan pages. And the easy interface that 22 Social provides is bar none, second to none, nothing like I've ever seen. And I started to realize immediately, like, wow, leveraging all that time and that effort, why not leverage it with a trusted brand, a trusted resource, but also, rather than worrying about me getting hacked, do it with them. Use their pages, use what they have, and leverage that, because Facebook's got all these built-in firewalls and all these other things. So that's what I did. So then I started to implement 22 Social, and then because of all these successes I had before, and obviously failures, because I bottomed out, folks. I mean, do you blame me? I lost over 500 sites. I thought that I was on my way to making it, and what happened? I wasn't. I lost my income, I lost my websites, and I lost confidence. So what happened was I started to rebuild myself back up, and with these fan pages and using 22 Social, and then it just hit me one day. I'm like, what? I'm actually going to create a course for people just like me. When they first start out, they need a thorough guideline, okay, a thorough baseline of where to start. And folks, using 22 Social and Facebook and this guide, I built the guide around 22 Social, and it has 16 modules in there. Okay, not only for the PDF, but over the shoulder, and I'm really proud of it. But the thing is, you're gonna have to take action because you can only get it for 6 more days. And I'm gonna do a couple, videos in relation to this. But folks, you need to understand, I failed. But I failed forward. I made a lot of mistakes. I understand where a lot of you guys are at. I've had income challenges. I've had all these problems that have happened. And, nobody, I do understand what it's like to lose that income. I was making really, really good money at that last job that I worked at. But I was juggling internet marketing and my career. And then, when I took some time off, and because I didn't take a lot of time off because I guess most people call me a workaholic that way. When I took the time off and when I went to come back, they had to move on. I understand. That's just the way business is. That's just the way things are. But I just wasn't prepared for that. And folks, I've learned a lot. Since a couple years ago, since that happened, I've built myself back up, obviously. But I've experienced those successes, but I've also experienced failure. And I know what it's like to taste that. I understand what it's like to put all your hard-earned effort into something, and then, at 1 minute you log in, next thing you know, you realize everything you did was for nothing. For nothing. And so you don't have to worry about that with 22 Social. You don't have to worry about that with Facebook fan pages, because everything that you're going to learn in this guide is going to be safe practices. It's going to be the best ways to use the internet and all these different sources to your advantage. Okay, so that's why I sat down and wrote it, because at this point, because I had so much skin in the game, so much time and effort put in there, plus all the money spent, and then obviously you throw on top of that getting hacked and losing all those sites, folks. Devastated is not even the word. I was beside myself. I lost confidence. But the thing is, what started to give me confidence is the fact that I started building myself back up. But then I started thinking, what? I need to help people, because I'm always helping people. I'm always loving to give information. I'm one of these people that, hey, you need some help, let me help you. And that's why I put this course together, because, folks, this bridges a gap in information and knowledge that is second to none. Okay, I built it for the new person. I built it for the intermediate marketer and advanced marketers. And what I mean by that, folks, I include information sources in here that I'll assure you, you're in a lot of high dollar masterminds, or you spent thousands of dollars online, or maybe you're just some internet ninja. Like I consider myself, and maybe you know some of these sources. Maybe you don't. But what I've done is I've put a huge training, like I said, it's about 48, 49 pages long, but it also has, every module has over-the-shoulder training, okay? But I include so many of these little ninja resources in there that I'm so excited to bring to you, because you don't have to make all those mistakes. You don't have to feel bad about like the action you're taking, because everything that's broken down in this course is bite-sized chunks. Okay, it's written for somebody like me. Okay, that's who it is. Even though I'm an action taker, if you haven't figured that out, I'm definitely one. I do not. You take action, you do what you got to do. Sometimes there's risks, sometimes there's rewards, and a lot of those risks that I was taking, all my marketing practices were on shaky ground. They just were, folks, and I'm here to tell you that. When you leverage 22 Social with all of your efforts, and you can get that, $1,000,000tosuccess.com. That's what I told you. They have a free version. If you want the pro version, you can get it for $2 for the first 30 days. It's a really, really great, app. But you don't have to do things on shaky ground, folks. If your Facebook account is secure to you, which most of you, hopefully you say, yeah, hopefully you're not unethical or spammy kind of people. But do you log into Facebook? Do you use Facebook to interact with your games, maybe your apps, maybe contact other people? Folks, if you're wanting to leverage that, Facebook provides free resources, and you couple that with 22 Social, you've got the best resources you need online. Period. It's the most viral source of traffic on the internet. Period. Hands down. You don't have to get hacked like I do. You don't have to lose confidence. You can go into this with this course, and again, 6 days only. For this price, you can't beat it. So let me tell you a little bit. Like I said, 16 modules. It's going to go through 16 modules, what I consider to be core training. Okay, core training. Okay, and remember, the new SEO is social engagement. The second thing is this whole course is based around 22 Social. So that's telling you, I'm not only telling you about the best resource, but I'm also put a guide based around this resource. So it's an amazing guide. Then I'm including 4 bonuses. What are the bonuses? The first one I call FB to-do list. So I understand some of you are going to probably be a little new to Facebook. Some of you, you might not understand a whole lot about Facebook and whatnot. And that's okay. I've actually included, a course or checklist I wrote for myself called FB to-do list. Basically, it's going to bridge that gap in knowledge of where to start, how to get there, and folks, that was something I wrote for myself. But I also just put out a course on Udemy that is right now is actually in review. Udemy is an online where you can pick up online courses on specific topics, and I just did one, that was over 4 hours long in training with 23 different modules just on Facebook alone. Just on Facebook fan page alone. So to me, it's an amazing training, and I enjoy doing that. But you don't have to go there and pick that up at Udemy. I'm including a FB to-do list, which is, it's my own personal checklist on how to put up fan pages, really, and how to interface with them the best way. Second thing is I include 500 bookmarking, high PR bookmarking sites. Why is that relevant? Folks, these sites are from PR8 to PR2. Okay, so what this means is you'll have a huge list of sites that you're going to be able to put these 22 social links out there, put your fan page links out there, be able to put this information out there and start getting this social interaction and get this social engagement. Remember, it's the new SEO. Got to remember that. Okay, the next thing that I provide, the next bonus, is I call it my additional sources guide. And folks, so basically, the good part about, working online since 2007 is I've accumulated a huge list of sources. So like I told you, with all these websites that I put out there, I was getting traffic to them very, very easy. And I wasn't paying for traffic, even though, probably some would suggest doing that. I was doing it organically, all right? So I was doing a lot of things to driving links organically. And what happened as a result, folks, I gained this massive list of places that are high PR sites that are very, very useful. And I'm actually going to include that as the third bonus. Again, I'm trying to over-deliver here. Is anything that you'll ever see that I do, I'm one that I love to over-deliver. So, like I said, just that list alone, folks, will blow you away. Blow you away, because just and give you a little idea. There's a lot of different sources in there that I'm going to provide, and I know I include a huge bookmarking site, but that was something that I was to me, you just need to as many sources as you can have, you need to have them. But this is additional sources guide, folks. The video sharing sites I include in there alone is a bonus in itself, and I can assure you of that. Okay, and that's just one of the little modules in that additional sources guide. Huge list, huge list of additional sources. You're gonna love it. Okay, and the last but not least is it's my own. Okay, and I didn't even modify it. I wrote myself a personal checklist. After I fell down, after I got hacked, I put together what I was doing for some of the sites that I did right. And what I did was I created a 10-day autoresponder follow-up series. And I wrote myself a checklist because, again, I just didn't know all the tools. Remember, when you first start out, you don't know everything. And for a long time, I wasn't collecting names and email addresses. But I learned out from trial and error. But then what I did was I wrote myself a checklist so that every time I actually went about setting up an autoresponder for any type of niche, I did it as a 10-day follow-up. And because to me, I started noticing I was getting better I was getting better engagement in my lists. I was getting better, I started building these lists very, very quickly. And you can too, and that's the cruise. So I'm going to throw that in there, because it's going to go hand in hand with 22 Social. So, in short, you've got 6 days left. That's pretty much it. You've got 6 days left to actually pick this up. I wanted to make sure that I gave this to the public and put this out there enough so that anyone who's an action taker, you're not only going to get the price of the guide. And after you get the guide, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to follow up with me at sharebeat@gmail.com. You follow up with me with your transaction ID, and I'm going to provide you with that huge list of bonuses. It's not all included into that because, folks, as with anything, most of you are going to get this and you're going to pick it up. Because I priced it so low, many of you aren't even going to take action on it. You're probably not even going to follow through and do anything with it. That's just from what I've seen. Most people, as a general rule, they talk a good game, but they don't take action. But for those of you who want to take action, action takers like me, this is what this guide's for. Okay, you get 22 social. As you see, $1 million to success. You can pick it up, right now if you wanted to, or you can, any of these pages that you can go to pick it up. You'd actually go to 22s.com/yes2money/social tap. Okay, you'll understand why it's so long. When I first set this up, again, folks, I didn't do everything the way I should have, but I've already taken so many actions and got so many of these pages out here that I can't change it now. So, which is okay. With that being said, folks, I believe in 22 Social. This is why I've actually launched it on that platform. Okay, it's a phenomenal resource. It's got a like gate, so when you actually go to that first page, you're gonna have to like in order to see it. But when you do like, make sure that you click get notifications, because folks, on that page up here, this SEO service DFW, I provide a lot of really neat resources for free in there that, folks, if you're marketing online, just some of the tidbits I put in there, you're going to need to pick up. And I don't treat this page like I treat all my other niche pages where I post on a very regular basis, every hour, every couple hours, and stuff like that. This stuff is really tailored for, those of you who are needing help online, okay, and really needing, a competitive advantage over many people. And, that's what it's really about. I've set this up so folks in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but it doesn't matter if you're in Dallas-Fort Worth or if you're in Austin, you're in Houston, you're in Baltimore, you're in, Minneapolis, you're in Seattle. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're at, I can help you. But that's just a mainstay because I'm in the local area here. And, folks, if any of these things that you've seen out there, you guys know that, this is a course that it took me, about a month and a half to actually finish because I really handpicked the way I wanted to actually put this together. And I wanted everything to build on itself, systematically. And, folks, again, I've made enough mistakes. I don't want you to make any more mistakes. I've priced this at such a reasonable price, and it's only for 6 days only. So remember, folks, any of you that know anything about me, you guys know I have my own slogan. Okay, my own slogan is this: I want to educate a macro community that funds a micro community that feeds a community. Think about it. I wish you all love, peace, ease of mind, health, wealth, and happiness. Thank you very much, and don't forget, visit 22s.com/yes2money/social tap. The link's going to be in the description below, so go ahead, take action. It's in the below. I'm taking all the risk here. I've been told I'm crazy for offering this information at such a low price, so you're only getting it for 6 more days. Everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you on the other side. And don't forget, when you actually take action, follow up with sharebeat@gmail.com and leave, make sure that you follow up with your transaction ID so that I can send you those 4 bonuses. And again, those 4 bonuses are worth more than the price I'm actually charging. And when I move forward, I'm not even including these bonuses as part of this. So it's a limited time only. You only got 6 more days. Go there now. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See you in the next video.